Welcome to the second APTA Grand Prix event of the season, the Indianapolis Open, brought to you by national sponsors Viking, Fusion, and Upswing Health. We are live at the Woodstock Club in Indianapolis, Indiana, on APTA Network, brought to you by eNet Live. I'm Brad Easterbrook, alongside Mark Fischel, bringing you men's round of 16 matches action in our Indianapolis Grand Prix. So, Mark, welcome. Good morning. Why don't you tell us about the players?
Morning, Bradford. We're right behind Will Lofgren, and then his partner is Brian Hagman. He's the pro at the host club, Woodstock Club. And at the net, in the black vest, is Ian Hintz and his partner Jay Schwab, and they're from Colorado.
Yeah, Hintz and Schwab, they've been around. They've been actually, Mark, I believe, even seeded once in the Midwesterns a couple of years ago. They were seeded 6th. They're the 35th ranked team in the country. And Hagman and Lofgren played a lot of tournaments. It should be a good match.
Yeah, I think the teams are pretty evenly matched. Both play a lot of tournaments. And it's really exciting to be here in Indianapolis, Brad. I know they're really excited about it. Brian Hagman, Ludo Aaron have done a terrific job putting everything together with a big assist from Graham McNerney. And I'm looking for a big day.
Yeah, it should be fun. You know, I haven't played a ton of times. Lofgren I've seen play a few times. He's a big guy, can hit a good forehand, move the ball around, classic shots. I could see a ton of huge weapons, I think, out here in the sense of like a lot of finishing cut shots. You know, and Jay Schwab, he grew up actually in the Westchester area. I remember him growing up playing junior tournaments, and he came up classically almost through the junior paddle ranks, and he's turned out to be a very good adult player. He's got an awkward style, Jay Schwab in the blue with the backward hat. His ground strikes aren't classical tennis. You know, they are a little herky-jerky, but they're effective. He kind of rolls over the ball, dips it down, then he'll use his speed to be quick. You know, he'll dig and grind with the best of them. So it's an interesting match out there.
And it's hard to play against somebody like that because you're used to the smooth stroke and the ball kind of come off the paddle. Reminds me a little bit of the Mike Stulak forehand. Different type of technique, but that slappy shot was kind of on you before you were ready a lot of times.
Yeah, the Stulak forehand. I mean, you know, and Schwab will surprise you. Mostly he'll grind, but he'll surprise you. He'll hit his offense when it comes into him. There you see Hintz going with the underhand serve. I think everyone is practicing that now, Mark. We're going to see how often it comes into play for the season, but everyone's developing either a sidearm or an actual underhand serve, or a lot of the players. And that's great. You know, even myself, I've been experimenting with it, and I think it works great. I think it's going to become a staple. And I think players are going to have multiple serves, have 3 different serves they're going to use.
Yeah, I was disappointed we didn't get to see Martin Bostrom's new serve last week.
I was disappointed as well.
The ball in the air.
Yep, and yeah, why don't you tell everybody about what he actually does do?
So it's literally an underhand serve. It goes maybe 15 feet in the air with an enormous amount of backwind if hit effectively, and it jumps back over the net. Hopefully in future events we'll get to see it. Now we should talk about the score today, Brad. It's a one-day event, and Indianapolis only had 10 courts. So we'll be playing a super breaker for the third in all matches other than the main draw semis and finals. And we'll also be playing no ad on third deuce.
So Mark, are you going to keep track of...
complicated for everybody.
Yeah, the number of deuces. All right, the umpire is going to have to be on that, so the third deuce will be a sudden death point. And the question is, at the third deuce, Mark, does the receiving team get to choose who's returning, or is it simply that point there at the third deuce and the deuce court player is going to receive it? Because that will make the deuce court player play some very important points.
Should be receiver's choice.
All right, we'll see how that plays out. You know, it's an absolutely perfect day to play paddle. It's not one of those sunny days. All of us players know that that's the best day. Not cloudy, because you don't have to deal with the low sun here in the fall and the wintertime. It's absolutely beautiful here in Woodstock. You know, it's down in this ravine. You'll see this in the top left of your screen. You can see this big netting on top of the fence. And that's because if the ball actually goes over, it actually goes over, down into the ravine and down into a creek. So they have this netting there to make sure that they can prevent that from happening. So if you see the ball and it actually hits into the netting, it'll be out of play and considered a point for.
There's a good view of the netting there.
Yep.
Okay, are these guys ready in there?
You see, Hintz can hit the ball both sides. Little forehand, little backhand. Classic.
You want to spin for serve?
Classic style. He's working the underhand serve pretty hard. I'm expecting him to go with that. Yeah, Hintz and Schwab will grind. They know how to play.
Okay. And you're going to be on which side?
All right, looks like the players are getting ready. Now, do you think, Mark, there'll be any pressure on Brian Hagman, given that he's the director here at Woodstock Club?
Yeah, I would think the host pro's always got a little more pressure than everybody else. So they got the fire pit going. Colorado boys are in shorts. They're used to some cold weather.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful up there. Ian Hintz is a director in the Colorado area, and he heads up all the platform tennis that goes on out there. And like you were mentioning before, Mark, you know, one of the things that's important for these guys is that they have to travel out in Colorado to get the matches they want, you know, to get the rankings, to get a good chance to see all the players play, to play against all the top spins and the top players out there. So it looks like Will Lofgren to serve.
Please. Are they ready? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the opening round match of a 3-set with tiebreaker. To my right, I've got Ian Hintz from Denver, Colorado, in the ad court, and Jay Schwab in the deuce court from Denver, Colorado. To my left, I have Brian Hagman, and he's from Indianapolis, Indiana, and Will Lofgren from Cincinnati, Ohio. Good luck, gentlemen.
Chair Scott Yancey. Just refresh everybody. That's Jay Schwab, the lefty in the blue shirt. And then they are switching in the first point, Bradford.
Yeah, putting Hagman out to hit the overheads.
No, at the backcourt I'm talking about.
Oh, sneaky. So what's that do? What do you think their call is? They're putting the Schwab forehand out on the sides. Now, I don't know enough if it's better to dump the ball down the middle against him or actually play it out to the Schwab forehand. I think, from what I've seen in the past, the Schwab backhand's actually the better of the two shots. So that means they're going to look for offense in the middle.
Well, based on that first point, I agree with you completely, Bradford. Great aggressive play from Hintz as he reads the nick.
They did a good job, and then Hagman backed off the net there. She just stayed up, been able to stuff him.
And there they go, switching again in the backcourt.
I love that. Means they're a well thought out team. That's a good forehand though from Schwab. There it was. They fed it into the beast, and he took it.
We should talk about that, Bradford. Lefties in the ad court are uncomfortable for right-handers.
Well, he can't hit the ball down into the side screen with, you know, that sort of impunity that you do oftentimes against a certain type of player. You know, I have a one-handed backhand. You get the ball high up there, I can make a down chip, but not going to hurt you as bad if you put it there, and that's pretty typical. So you have to adjust how you hit these overheads, long and deep.
And there they mess up the switch on the backcourt. Costs them a point. Let's talk a little about that, Bradford. When should they be switching?
40, 30.
Well, they've done it 1,000 times. I don't think we're going to see that again, probably. But all they have to do is hit a high lob, and when they're hitting it, there's plenty of time for them to just pick their spots and move over. Good return off the screen. Hintz.
And who should be calling the switch?
I mean, the player hitting it should be. These guys have played together so much, Hintz and Schwab, that you should do it almost with telepathy. Like, you know the guy's hitting the lob up, but the call should be, made by the hitting player.
They're not looking for it this because they've had a couple opportunities.
Yeah, I love it.
Game.
A couple out. That's a
Hagman,
high-risk
Lofgren.
shot, low reward. That's a game they were right there in. A couple of high-risk, low-reward shots. Schwab took a good cut on a ball he should hit, just missed it long. This is going to be a good feeling out, couple of feeling out
Hagman,
games, I think.
Lofgren lead 1-0.
So here's Ian Hintz to serve. And again, he'll be serving to Will Lofgren.
And he took a serve there. Took a couple. Trying to, because he didn't take any on that side when he first warmed up, so we wanted to see what the different view was. That ball is tight. Love the way he's letting these things drop and
15
giving it
love.
a heavy cut.
Fifteen.
He hit that ball right down into his forehand. Didn't get enough action on the cut. Just ripped over there by Will Lofgren.
According to Amin Kaderi, our CEO, he calls this a pick-em match based on PTI, Bradford.
Ah, well, that's good. That is exactly what the PTI is for. And, my experience is it works great. That's a terrific angle. What a view of that great forehand. Lofgren picking his spot off the right hip of Schwab and zipping it by him.
15-40. $30-40.
Called out.
See Will Lofgren looking around there. Well, that was a true underhand serve, Bradford.
Yeah, that was, I like it. He didn't go with a topspin from a little higher point. He went actually under his pocket. I have not seen that much before at all. Worked it out well. It was a quick delivery. It still came in low.
As you
Well,
talked
so
about
far-
the Open, the lack of weapons means we're going to see a lot of points like this.
Yes, a lot of grinding. So far we've seen Lofgren has shown us the biggest thing on the court, which is his hand so far. And that's the shot why would you hit that shot, right? It's the one shot you can't hit. He hits it down in there. Another one down in there.
He reciprocates.
That's
Great dig there
nice.
from Hagman.
Yep.
40-40.
Good transition. But a couple of overheads they're going to have to choose a little differently.
Advantage. Hagman, Lofgren.
I think we're going to see a little of this too. It's not that we didn't see faulting with the overhand serves before, but they're definitely still players. It's still new, this underhand serve, Mark.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Not that I know anything about it personally, but I've heard people struggling to get it in the box.
Yeah, you're saying that because we played that match that one time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Good.
A great move by Hintz there.
It was a good move. He stayed in because he knew he hit the drive low. He didn't hit hard, but he hit it low. And it was right there.
There's that big Lofgren forehand.
Yeah,
We
so we're
haven't
gonna see-
seen much offense out of the middle of the court from Hintz and Schwab. So if I'm Murphy and Lofgren, if I'm Hagman and Lofgren, I want them to prove to me that they can hurt me from there.
Yeah, the issue on both sides of the ball, I think these teams just have to be patient, wait for the right ball, because we also aren't seeing any offense from the net, right? There's no pressure. You hit the ball back, they hit down the middle, or they hit a flat overhead, right? There's no spin and there's no attacking. They're going to, keep playing the right kind of point, which is great paddle, but they're not pressuring you from the net either. So there's no point where Hintz and Schwab are going to have to go for their shot. They can wait for the right ball. Like there, perfect. He got a ball he wanted to hit, and Hagman was in perfect position, just couldn't handle the volley. That's a great point from them, because if you don't feel that pressure, wait for the exact ball you want.
Third fault of the game.
Deuce.
Nice blitz. I think we're going to see that move some more. It's smooth. Oh, that's the oof.
Yeah, that's
mean-
not the place you want to hit that overhead.
I don't think it's the place you want to hit that ball. Maybe he thought he was catching him off guard, but didn't get hurt, so. Oh, that's a beauty. Nice dig.
There they are switching in the backcourt.
So it'll spin over there from
Good backhand from Schwab. Like how he stepped into that ball.
Well, that was great from Hintz and Schwab. They play enough where you see them just went into an eye there with Schwab right at the net and Hintz right behind them. So
Hey,
far,
Brad, which number deuce is this so far?
That's a great question, Mark. You caught me, and I actually do not know. I'm going to say it's deuce number 2.
We'll find out shortly. I think they forgot to do the no ad point.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Deuce.
That's a great shot. You got to get behind that ball if you want to drive it off the screen. Great lob,
Yeah,
though.
they've forgotten.
Yep. They're just going to play this out regular. So, the umpires are definitely going to have to be retrained on this. It's a whole new thing, playing the shortened format.
Well, the other aspect of it is the third deuce makes it so difficult.
Because it's just the play just keeps moving along, and you really have to be focused on that one specific time. Yeah.
I mean, no ad on the first deuce, you know exactly what you're doing. Maybe you'll forget once in a while. But by the third deuce, it's...
I love the way they're doing this. They have some different styles in Schwab. They're playing completely in I formation here. They're sticking Schwab right on top of the net, looking to cut off any drive that comes, possibly get a drop volley. And they're playing it smart. They're nonplussed, Hagman and Lofgren. They're still just waiting. They're giving nothing to Schwab. They're waiting for the right ball because they're going to have to pound a drive. Or not at all, and they're fine just to wait. It's actually a great point. This is going to be a battle of wills, this match, for sure.
So, Bradford, when you're playing against this I formation, what would you try and do?
I think they're doing actually a lot of the right stuff. Keep lobbing until you have the ball that you can step in and hit. There it is, but there's a great cutoff, and that's what you see the whole I formation for. It's actually waiting for the drive, the I formation. They're waiting for the cutoff. And I think Hagman and Lofgren were great. They didn't get bought in. They just kept lobbing the net man and waited for the ball they wanted to hit. Good job. They forced the error.
Now, in theory, we should have all three courts at Woodstock wired today. So you should be able to tune into other channels. I don't know why you wouldn't want to listen to Brad. But we do have 3 separate channels.
Mark, I'm going on every
YouTube
channel.
website.
think both teams have already figured out they don't have to force the offense here. Nice little quick little drive there from Hagman. I haven't seen it. Have you seen him take a cut yet?
Nope.
No, he doesn't seem to set up he doesn't even seem to even hit a lob and set up for a ball. You know what I mean? He's just kind of waiting for the point to come to him, which is a great sort of axiom. But a backcourt team can also hit a lob to a specific point, really set up for a specific type of drive and look for that ball, that offense that comes. But because there's no premium on any pressure from the net team, there's a move. You don't have to worry. There's a drive. Oh, cut off again from Schwab. He's got long reach. Okay, well, we are streaming also on Court 3 with Burns and Thygesen against Crick and Lofgren. So if anybody wants to check that one out, that match is on Court 3.
That's Randy Lofgren, Will's brother.
That's right. Actually, it's kind of funny out here. We have a number of Baxters in the draw. You know, a couple of Lofgrens. You know, some interesting teams actually in this draw. You got Thomas Murphy, who's played with Ryan Baxter before, playing this one with Casey Watt. So Baxter and Murphy have frequently played together out here in the Indianapolis area. And Ryan Baxter, very talented player. Will Komar, not seeded here, but that's a good team. A lot of firepower.
Ryan Baxter is super talented.
Yeah, you know, hasn't seemed to have discipline yet, but he can hit every shot. And actually, he hits the ball harder than almost anybody on some drives. He just rips it. Sometimes I wouldn't even say exactly the right shot. Like, meaning he'll just hit it so hard that it's going straight through, and not a lot of margin. But he is incredibly talented. He can get cut finishing shots. He's a great player. All right, so Hagman and Lofgren, good job grinding out that game.
Good forehand there from Schwab 15. As they don't look for the switch in the backcourt.
Yeah, they're completely facile with how they do that. I haven't seen a specific advantage yet when they do it. It just changes the look for the other team.
Good, they've got abbreviated scoring, Brad, because this match might go 4 hours. Oh, it's a good move by Hintz, just misses it.
30-15.
Big shout out to Tim McAvoy, watching at home, Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Hall of Famer Tim McAvoy. Oh, that's a good lob. They're starting to have some effectiveness against the I formation, Brad.
Game. Hagman and Lofgren lead 3-0.
Just a few too many errors from Hintz and Schwab. like seeing Hintz and Schwab talking a little bit, trying to figure it out. Lost 3 tough games. We seem to have lost Brad Brook. I think it was an EMP attack. My suspicion is either the Russians or the Iranians. Okay. Schwab to serve. Oh, that's great court awareness from Hagman. Big forehand there. Just a little bit impatient. That was a tough ball to cut.
Love 5.
Be interesting to see if Hintz and Schwab stay with the I formation, because they've been burned on it a couple of times. There they fall back into it again with the I formation.
15.
The slob there from Lofgren.
Oh, there we go.
15-30.
Fault there from Schwab.
Brad has recovered from the EMP attack.
Yeah, I was down and out there for a minute.
We were speculating whether it was the Chinese or the Russians, Brad.
You know, I've got enemies on all coasts, so.
But Brad, we saw Hintz and Schwab come out in the I formation. They've got beaten with it a couple of times. How long will you stick with something like that before you switched your strategy? Having some technical difficulties with Bradford.
All right, I'm back again. Yeah, so
Brad, I
you're
was
asking-
wondering how long you'd stick with the I formation if you're having problems, because you see they keep losing points on it.
Yeah, they're doing the I, and the
15-40.
other guys are just waiting it out and then picking their spots, and they're gaining nothing from it. So I'd go away from it right away, because all it's done is expose holes for
Game.
Hagman and Lofgren to find. You know, and they're not putting any pressure on them. What the I formation for them is supposed to do is allow to cut off the ball. But Hagman and Lofgren are smart tactically. They're just lobbing it up and playing it over the the player at the
15.
net, and then waiting for them to hit a mistake overhead, which eventually will come, because there really isn't any pressure right now with the overheads. Hagman and Lofgren are starting to dial it up a little too, and
15-15.
Hintz and Schwab are going to have to find a groove.
$15.30.
But this is actually one of these interesting moments for a team. If Hintz and Schwab can start playing some really solid points, you know, when I'm up like 4-love, like Hagman and Lofgren, I always say to my partner, all right, let's keep the focus, because, you know, they're going to start playing better. And if you're the team that's ahead, just miss one or two, you play a couple of really loose points, you can find nothing flips over faster than a platform tennis match. That was a great lob down the line. I would like to see Schwab move up the wire there, and Hintz moved to the middle of the court last time. But for them right now, just play some good, solid long points. Take the exact right look. Nice overhead. Great angle.
Oh, he was looking to slam that one.
Go ahead.
It's good retrieving from Hintz. The lobs
They
are too
are
short.
Work him. He's having a tough time just staying in it right now, but he's righted the ship, so he took all those blows. Good job.
Go hit it.
That's a great use of a push high overhead, sort of a pillow overhead.
But as you talked about earlier, you didn't see Hintz put himself in offensive position there. And there's the switch in the backcourt.
Got it. Go.
This is a good point.
Go.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
wild
40.
strike.
Got away with that overhead.
Nah, but see, the thing is, though, I think Schwab wasn't balanced because he did a fast block on the one before
30 off.
that he
I'm
could have
sorry.
played off the
30
screen
off.
and couldn't get his feet underneath him for that. It was a bit of a wild one from Schwab.
Agreed.
Heads up, heads up.
Great blitz, smooth.
Great scrambling from Hagman, Lofgren. And there they switch, returning to their natural sides.
I like this. I would love to see them make Hagman move. He's just super smooth, and that's great. Make Lofgren hit a
30-40.
backhand. Well, they didn't make him hit a backhand. He chose it, but hit him backhands, as much as possible.
Go.
That backhand Lofgren hit, Brad, was the opposite of what you were talking about. Be really solid, they're going to start playing better. Kind of gifted him a point.
Got it.
I love these down the line lobs, and then I want to see that down the line lob, me and Hintz, that goes over Brian Hagman's head. Then I want to move into an offensive position, look for the down up ball that they can hit towards the service line. Just super high percentage play,
Hit it.
and I think they'll get it.
Hit it. Go.
Nice and smooth. Great point here.
Go. Go. Okay. Go. Help, 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 help.
Oh, good play. Great spot on that. Oh, great hands from Lofgren.
Deuce.
Lofgren comes up with the answer.
He did. I mean, I think he should have bailed, to be honest. But I think it was so surprising that he stayed in. They didn't know what to do. I mean, Hintz could have just really wrapped it at his feet, but he kind of hit it a little slow in both cases, and he surprisingly stayed in. Good job.
Okay, Bradford, you know what the score is?
I believe it. The deuce.
Deuce number one.
All right. Numero uno. Well, we can keep track of this just to find out if they're not doing it, which it doesn't appear that they are.
Really a beautiful setting in the hillside, all the rhododendrons and trees turning color.
And I would think, Mark, if in the opening speech or salvo from the umpire, when he's introducing the players, he should, tell all the players, hey, we're going to be doing this format today. We're
Add
going to
in.
be playing, switching balls on seven games. We're doing so and so, and we're going to be playing third deuce is going to be a sudden death point. He's a good shot at the crease. I love it. He's just opening it up, and he's going in there. That's good. 2 in a row. Hard for Hintz to know exactly where those balls are going when it goes at the crease.
And there's no reason with Hintz not in an offensive position not to be aiming at the crease.
That's right, and he's got to cut off a few of them mean, he's got to lob a little better too, to be honest. I mean, he's getting a lot of overheads inside the service line there. That's not too bad. He's getting him just to the service line area. As a consequence, he gets an offensive shot. That's a good play too.
I'll be ready.
Oh, good rhythm.
backhand. Deuce number deuce.
Deuce number deuce. All right.
It's interesting. Early in the match, we saw Hintz and Schwab switching in the backcourt regularly. And now we're not seeing much of it.
Go. Go.
Well, the reason why you would do it is to throw in the right kind of looks. So the other team has to think about where they're going to hit these overheads. But it almost seemed like it was throwing Hintz and Schwab off too much. Like they're playing too fast. They were looking for different type of balls. Now they're actually settling into kind of a rhythm here in the backcourt. Well, that is
Great lob.
Well, it's exactly the play they want to do. Keep lobbing Hagman back. Look for that ball. I would lob that ball to that corner every time and just move myself to the middle.
But the key thing is to move yourself to the middle to present the offense.
You. You ready? You.
Great lob.
Go.
Oh,
Touches
what
the
a
nick
shot.
there.
That was terrific. He cocked it, loaded it, fired it into the right into the crease. Great ball.
Hit it, partner. I got it.
Game.
All right, great job. Hagman Lofgren survived, but there was a better game from Hintz and Schwab. They got a lot of good looks. They just got to execute a little bit better. Great start for Hagman Lofgren, but like I said, any match can flip on a dime. Anything can change.
Just one.
Hintz and Schwab with a lot of different strategies. Not terribly effective so far, but interesting.
Well, I like the fact that they obviously live together in the Denver area. They play together a lot. I'm sure they played leagues out there. So they have a lot of these things down, but I'm not sure they have the looks that they're looking for down with each one of these things. And Hagman and Lofgren have been just smart. They drop into the eye, so all they did was move lob and kept, didn't give the volley, so it was an easy cutoff or drop volley for Schwab when he was at the net. And they kept looking for the right ball. And, we haven't really seen, outside of that great overhead into the crease, and Hagman and Lofgren are starting to get a little more comfortable with their overheads now, getting more aggressive with it. But there's not a terrible amount of offense from the net, right? So you don't have to feel uncomfortable.
Thanks, Ian.
You can just keep picking your spot, focusing on where to lob.
Yeah, I think regardless of whether they win this set or not, it's imperative for Hintz and Schwab play a good, solid game here.
I agree with you 100%. You want to start moving and I think they did. They lost the last game, but I think that game was a better game for Hintz and Schwab. It was the right type of game they wanted to see. There you go. That's what you hope for. Get a loose error.
And he's kind of given up the rolling serve and just going with the underhand one.
And there you see the drop volley from Schwab taking that half-court ball.
Very aggressive court positioning there from Hagman, and it's successful.
Yeah, Lofgren's got a pretty good forehand. So,
as opposed to his brother, who's got a pretty good backhand.
yeah, Randy Lofgren has a very good backhand. He stands in very close. He's a good player. Dangerous.
That means if you put the two Lofgrens together, you'd have a heck of a player.
Go. 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 I got
It's interesting, he's hitting the same overheads with Schwab over there with the forehand to the outside.
Yep, he's just going right at the crease time and time again. He's going to get one. That's great drop volley, but
5:30.
poor choice there from Hintz with Hagman right on top of the net to hit that mid-pace drive. Gets him a good drop opportunity. Well played by Hagman. You know, here's these interesting underhand serve.
5:40.
We haven't seen too many of these. He's literally hitting it just flat, Mark. If I were the backcourt team, I would throw some blitzes in, like hard and at that, but it's working. Lofgren has 2 forehands from that low position. He's not getting them above his waist. See Hagman standing way in.
This is set point. They saved 2 set points.
40-40.
Deuce one.
Good play there. Hagman staying off that ball. Lofgren knows his partner's right there.
There, Hintz and Schwab in the I formation again.
Just keep lobbing it.
But you can see how little separates winning and losing. I mean, virtually all the games have been closely contested.
Yep.
Hagman, Lofgren just happen to win all of them. Couple loose errors, couple of faults.
Yeah, they're definitely executing their offense better, like that. You know, oh, I guess that was out, so I stand corrected. But they've all, you know, they've gotten their more offensive looks and just been more solid all around. But what's good about the way Lofgren and Hagman are playing, they're playing one style that they're trying to work well. Hintz and Schwab working through 3 different styles, none of which has been exactly
Game.
working at this point.
Okay, they're on the board.
Schwab.
They are, and that's a great thing because even that one game, it just gives you life. It's a
5-1.
great thing. If they can take another here, this is a perfect opportunity to start to turn this match around.
Help. Go. Go.
See if they switch in the backcourt again.
Go. Go, I got it.
Yeah, that's a good ball. That is the overhead. I want to see them keep making Hagman play. That when he hits like that sky hook when it goes back over Mark. And it's always an up-down overhead, and you're going to get those spikes.
You. You.
Ah, great play from
15 love.
Lofgren. If you had to
There's
say
the
what's
danger
the
of
biggest
fouling
weapon on
the
the court,
forehand side.
yeah, if you had to say the biggest weapon on the court right now, what is it though, Mark?
Without question, the Lofgren forehand.
Yeah, so I'm not sure why he's testing it. I mean, there it is again. I don't, you know, he's got to hit some long, low overheads in there if he wants to work them. Yeah, set along those lines, long and low, not down around the service line.
I would say it's past the test, Brad.
Yes, I mean, don't give him that shot. You got to bait him in the wrong ball.
And I think that's one of the essential elements of evaluating a match when you go on the court. Where can I get hurt? Where's safe?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like the paddle 101, right? Where can I get hurt? What's safe? Absolutely.
Hit. Hit.
Finds the nick there.
15-15.
Great shot. I always like to hear that help call when that ball's going there. Good playing. Here we go. 15 all. Like we were talking about, Mark, just get a little momentum going. Play good, solid game here.
Hit it. Hit it. Hit it.
But do you like Hintz and Schwab in this configuration, or do you like it when they have the
30-15.
lefty in the ad court?
I actually like this standard configuration here. I think they've played better this way. When they haven't moved it around, they
Hit it.
seem to stay calmer in the way they approach the point. Great
40,
read from
15.
Hagman. He knows that drive is coming, and he cuts right in front. Deadens his hands at contact. That's a great drop volley.
2 more set points.
Yep. That's it.
40,
They're
30.
refusing to go quietly here. That's 3 set points they've saved. 1 more to come.
It's a good shot. Lofgren sort of halfway the ball. I think he easily could have had it, saving a little energy there. It's probably because they made him play all those extra deuce points.
There's that down-up overhead you keep talking about, Brad. And Hintz misses it wide, and it's game in first set. Hagman Lofgren,
Game and
6
set.
games to 1.
Very good. All right, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back right here on the APA Network, brought to you by eNet Live.
New ball.
All right, we're going to once again go to a commercial break right now here on the APTA Network. And when that comes on in, we'll be back with the second set here of our match here at the Woodstock Club here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Welcome back to our men's round of 16 action here at the Indianapolis Open in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Woodstock Club, where the director of racket sports here at the Woodstock Club, Brian Hagman, and his partner Lofgren took the first set 6-1 against Hintz and Schwab. Now, what do you think, Mark? Hintz and Schwab, you know, they've all competed a ton of times before. Everybody's lost a 6-1 set. What do you think their conversation is off in between there?
Well, Brad, I'm an expert at what to do after losing 6-1 sets. I haven't had a lot of success, but I've lost a lot of them. And I think that Hintz and Schwab just need to play more solid paddle. I don't think there was much that separated the two teams in the first set. I just think Hintz and Schwab made some careless errors, faulted a few times too many. And that was the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, they definitely have to stay away from the Lofgren forehand. They have to be a little bit smarter. I think they have played best when they just played the standard style. They got a little caught up in, you know, a few different styles, none of which I think had any specific gain to them. So if they just stay solid and focus on some basic execution, I think you're right. Hintz actually taking an overhand serve here.
I noticed that.
At the start, let's see what he does. He goes to it. Lofgren, of course, promptly ripped it, but a nice blitz move, but a terrific
love.
first volley there from Ian Hintz. Good hands on that.
And
Hagman
he had
put
the essential element of any good serve when in the box.
in the box. Step one, right?
You.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little less down left. Down up overhead, certainly nothing over there to the Lofgren forehand. I'd like to see if they can make Hagman move. He's, you know, he's such an economical player. You know, get movement out of him in the backcourt. This
I
dangerous
just
overhead.
don't see any really advantage to this formation.
You know, what's great about early season is, though, they could just be working on something. You know, and you see how this works. You attempt the tactic, but like once again, you just, I don't know how many times you're going to keep testing it. As you said, Mark, it passed the test.
Okay. 30-15.
That is a terrifying sound when you hear the ball come off your
30-11,
partner's
I'm sorry.
paddle like that and he's
Rattle.
behind you.
Yeah, anything can happen.
40, love.
And often does. Okay, a chance for Schwab to get in the board early here.
This is great. Good start for them. Oh, nice down return. Come right over the top.
30-15.
Hagman very economical with that forehand. If it gets up, he can bring it down. If you put it around his waist high, he doesn't really hit a ton of topspin, so he kind of hits more of a guided drive. But
Great pick
a lot
up
of
there
control.
from Hintz.
Yeah, that was terrific. He's got good hands.
There you see them switching Lofgren overhead in the middle. We saw one good early forehand from Schwab, but haven't seen anything else from this side. And as Patty Hope reminds me, he was a finalist in the Junior Nationals 2008.
Yeah, I played with, I believe his partner's name was Souther, because I've been running a lot of those junior tournaments for many years. Oh, missed overhead.
And those are the misses that just kill you.
40-30.
Yeah, but at 40 love, I think, or it's, I guess, 40-30 now, but don't kill you as much as the set point miss, right?
Yeah, those game points, they determine who win and loses matches.
I think that's a big deal. I'm curious to see if there's going to be any kind of call from the refs to start playing the third deuce thing here in the second set, too.
We'll find out if they get to the third deuce. Lofgren looks very comfortable with the back end.
Yeah, but that's not the exchange they want from Lofgren. That's actually what the I formation is. Yeah, what Hintz and Schwab want, those mid-pace drives with the guy at the net attacking you back. That's not it. You want to stay over that and only take the big drive when the guy's right up there, because he's ready to hit drop volleys. He's ready to attack back. Keep working it away from him. Again, I gotta see Hagman move.
Oh, that's beautiful ball.
It is a beautiful ball,
40,
but
40.
they're getting caught. Nice shot. He totally held that to the last second. Great job.
Number one.
Oh,
Nice.
what a serve. He kind of went with like a quick jump serve wide. Hit it right in there. Totally flummoxed Lofgren over there.
That's you? Yep. Deuce? Or
Add in.
Right. Miss that. Miss that.
Deuce
Deuce.
number two.
Deuce 2.
Correct.
That's you? Yep. Yep.
Okay, so there you heard him call out deuce number two, Brad.
Great. Now that was not the Lofgren forehand we've seen. That he sort of slap shot of that one.
Right here. You. You.
I think it's very difficult to play this I formation, Bradford, unless you have a good rolling two-hand overhead.
Right.
AKA Mark Parsons.
I agree with you. There's not enough pressure from the overhead to get like those kind of errant shots from the backcourt team or a weaker drive, and that's what sort of makes this format. I think that's a terrific point, Mark. You know, it sort of drives this type of formation, the fact that you're going to get some weaker balls or worse lobs from the opponents over there. And right now, they're just, you know, easily lobbing over it, and when they're taking drives, it's usually a big drive. And when you have the I formation and they're taking a big drive, there's no way you can cover it. I understand the purpose of it. Like, you know, Schwab is long. They want to use his length. He's athletic. He's, you know, of all the players on the court, he seems to have the quickest moves. But as you mentioned, they're not getting any bang for the buck for sure.
Well, that was a dangerous overhead there from Schwab.
There we go. Take a little luck and gain the, you know, that first game of the second set, which is a terrific way for them to start. Because, like you said, it was 6-1,
Hagman
but the
and
difference
Lofgren won the
between
first set,
losing 6-1 and
6-1,
winning 6-1
and
was
then this
was
set,
much. Probably a few points here and there.
Hintz and Schwab
Three,
lead
maybe? 3 points?
1-0.
You know, it's right in the balance. So that's good for them to get in there. They got a little luck with that cut overhead there at the end, but it also takes a little of that too. And actually, it was interesting because I liked Hintz going to the overhand serve. He challenged Lofgren a little more there, although he still ripped it. The overhand serve, believe it or not, against Hagman is probably not always better. He hits the ball down well, but if you keep it in low, he doesn't have any real topspin on the ball. So he sort of has to push the forehand. He did not strike really any of the underhand serves. So I don't, if he can get it in, it isn't a bad play against Hagman at all. Oh, so slippery, but he's gotten him like 2 or 3 times now with that. I love
But
it.
again, as you talked about earlier, Brad, they're not putting any pressure on him with the overheads, and the I formation's got a lot of openings.
Hit it. Yeah, good ball.
Oh, that's a nice spot on that
15.
forehand. He held it. He could have actually flipped that either way, and a nice smooth ball down the line. Hagman looking to the middle. Great shot.
$30-15.
Schwab not quite dialed in his forehand yet.
No.
There's 2 quickies. You love that as a
15.
player, getting those 2 missed returns.
What's that like, Brad? I wouldn't experience. I've never experienced that.
Oh, I've experienced missing 2 returns for sure. Too many
Game.
times.
No, as a server, Brad.
1-1.
Oh, there you go.
Second set.
But that was a really good start, but Hintz and Schwab just gifted that game right back to him with 3 missed drives in about a 10-second span.
So, Brad, when your partner misses a return, does that change your attitude on the next ball?
You know, you can never miss 2 returns in a row. I agree. It's a kill in a game. Players like to keep their confidence high so they feel like they can make it at any time, but got to put it in play. It's just, I mean, what we're seeing here too, these guys are all very good. It's that subtle difference between, say, you know, Johan Durant forehand or a Mikador forehand. They're basically, those forehands are almost automatic. You know, they really just don't miss them. And here, these guys can all make forehands, but it's not so automatic, right? So everything is a little more implied risk.
It all comes down to your batting average.
Right.
If
There's
it's
no question.
70%, that's not good enough.
That's a good lob. Yeah, they keep lobbing Schwab. He keeps going down to the Lofgren forehand. Danger
You
zone.
just feel like Lofgren's going to hurt him eventually.
That one's going to be good enough. Good job there. Nice. Okay. Worked it.
15 love.
I'm surprised Schwab doesn't want to dump that ball down the middle a little more.
Well, they spent a lot of time in the first set dumping the ball. And the guys waited it out pretty well. I don't know, maybe it's trying to apply a little more pressure, but nice move there from Hagman. Smooth.
Backhand off the wires.
15-15.
Nice ball. Couldn't see if that ball went in or out. I think it went long, right?
Yeah, I think he missed that big miss. Those are the points that you can't give away.
One of the things I love about watching Brian Hagman play is he's so economical. You watch his paddle, it barely moves. You know, it's so compact. And that's a reasonable lesson for almost anyone. You don't need a ton of movement. You don't need to do too much.
They're pounding the ball to the Lofgren corner.
He's doing a good job as he's getting it now, he's getting it over the drive. He's not hitting it right into the sweet spot. He's finding a little better place for it. Oh!
15-30.
I don't know if he was just going for a drop shot there, or if he, just missed it. You wouldn't expect him to miss that play.
Great lob, and there's the down-up overhead again from Schwab, and they pay for it.
15-40.
Good move, though, from Hagman. You see him move to the middle of the court, and he was right there for it. He just one-timed that ball beautifully.
Game.
All right,
Those are the errors that are just killing him.
Well, Hintz wants that game back. He just missed two
Hagman
volleys
Lofgren won the first
and an
set,
overhead.
and they lead
And
the second set.
one was
2-1.
tough. I mean, Hagman moved in, really stuffed the ball, but the other two, you would have to consider them routine balls, Mark.
And that's the difference in the match right now.
Sure. I mean, we talked about the fact that they just got to execute, just play better. There really still isn't anything completely separating these teams. Just got to execute.
11 o'clock, we're going to have our women's quarterfinals. They will
some
also be
interest.
playing the abbreviated scoring.
Yeah, curious to see some things. We got a couple of new lineups there on the women's side. Alison Morgan picked up and playing with Tunaro, who's a good player from out here in the Midwest.
Alice Tunaro, very talented Romanian. Looking forward to seeing her play.
And Prusas and Naslak Mittal. Curious to see. I mean, Prus is another great hitter of the ball. She's been playing now, I guess, a couple of years now. Hits the ball great, but screens still needed work. Hopefully they've worked that out. The screens, if the screens and the serves improve, the team could do some damage. Gio Williamson, our first seeded team, had a great run. They did a great job last week. They beat Malville and Cooper, and then made it to the semifinals. So terrific play from
15-love.
them.
I'm also looking forward to seeing Spencer Caravaggio. Supposed to be very talented.
That's a tough drive. You got to be very careful with it. Hagman's reading that stuff now. He's waiting on that net. That's the one I want to see. Make him go back, hit that sky hook overhead, and look for that down-up ball. There's the ball. I'm
Good
looking
down the
for.
line lob there.
It's a good point. They're just feeling each other out here. It's great.
So little offense being presented by Hintz and Schwab.
I like the fact
Just
that they're.
don't feel,
Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
I was going to say, I don't feel them moving in the
30
backcourt
love.
to threaten the overheads.
Yep, I agree with you fully. I think what was the only thing I found good about that, they were hit shots they know they could make. You know, he did end up missing at the end
30-15.
there, but they weren't pressing their balls, just trying to make them. But still, it's not like not facing the Thunder. It's just a barrage of. And usually, if you're that kind of player who picks away at somebody, you got to pick, like get it off their hip, and then it's a quick move in and a quick move out. You know, something that threatens. When you're picking away with something not too hard, you know.
You're not picking away.
Yeah, they're just going to make the volleys, you know. But I like the fact that they're controlling it. Lofgren completely misread that one off the screen.
Correct.
Right,
All right.
looks like it's the right ball to drive.
Yeah, I just totally misread it. See, that drive isn't. I'm not sure what that drive's designed for. You're hoping for a short ball that can attack, or just hoping for a random miss. I get it. That drive can work. See, there's a nice ball. If you get the guy off the net, right, and he's worried about the lobs.
The other big difference in the match has been return of serve. Hintz and Schwab just did virtually no damage on it.
Come on, Jay.
Nice ball. He catches Lofgren completely out of volley position. Had his paddle. He was sitting there with the forehand. He wasn't ready for that. He would make that volley every time if he had that paddle in the backhand volley. Nice spot off the right hip there.
Big forehands from Schwab, even from game point to break point.
Yeah, if he could start heating that up. Wow, what a serve right into the crease.
Deuce.
Yeah, if his forehand starts moving and getting better, that could be something that just tips the scales, right?
There he stayed
Add
back
in.
against the Schwab turn.
Yep, and
Ian Hintz with that volley back.
has good play. He came in, easy volley, but Lofgren kept it low enough.
Hit it first. I got it. Go. Go. Hit. Go. Switching.
There they go to the switch in the backcourt.
Yeah.
Okay, Brad, what's the score?
I believe
Game
it is
3-1. Hagman Lofgren.
3-1.
Yeah. Again, there you see the difference on the serve, return of serve. Boy, I wasn't ready to drive that ball at all.
15
Feet
left.
weren't in position.
No, those are the ones, if he's ready and set, he makes a good shot at it, but those he's probably 50-50 at best on.
There's a great dig from Hintz.
Yeah, Hagman's got a good return. You bounce it up to him. He's got sort of like that Kaler-like return, you know, Scott Kaler, where he hits it downward, ball bounces up. It's a good shot.
15 all.
Yep. 5.
$15-30.
No question that Lofgren forehand has been one of the big differences in the match.
Yep. I love Brian Hagman's demeanor too. He's completely nonplussed all the time. That's the
30-30.
great play, and that's what the I formation is looking for. And so that was a great cutoff and a perfect drop volley from Schwab. Great rip from
Another
Lofgren.
big
30-40.
forehand from Lofgren.
They got to find a way to get that ball to his backhand.
Good. Okay. You. Got it. Okay.
Oh, he reads it,
Dang.
but just can't get there. And Hagman, quick little moves. He darted the ball low, and he
Hagman
got
and Lofgren
Schwab
won the
bailing,
first
which was
set.
great. Not a bad move from
6-1.
Schwab, although he only
They
had a
lead this
backhand
set.
slice there, so
4-1.
might have closed in. But good job. They're picking them apart.
But I really liked Hagman's court position there, where he hit the deep lob and then he stepped into the court, put himself in an offensive position, which we haven't seen much of from Hintz and Schwab. They don't tend to react to their lobs. They're kind of watching rather than putting themselves in an offensive position.
And I think you definitely hit the nail on the head before, Mark, when you're talking about the Lofgren return making a difference. Sure does. You know, they definitely returned better and had more damage on the return end of things. Well, it's getting to that time now for Hagman yeah, you know, for Hintz and Schwab. For Hagman, Lofgren, they just close the door and keep playing solid. But Hintz and Schwab are running out of room here. They're going to have to start picking up the play, and they can't afford any loose errors right now.
Yeah, I got. Hit it. You. Yeah, I got. Hit it. Switch. I got you.
That's a stretch
15
look.
love.
It's just too far out of his zone to get for there. And Schwab had a good look before he completely mishit that forehand, but it was a good look.
Seen very little faulting from Hagman and Lofgren, and their decision
30
making
love.
better. There you see 2 bad decisions in a row for me and Hintz, and all of a sudden they're down 30 love.
You know, if you're Hintz and Schwab,
I got.
it just goes the rest of the way here. It depends. It's good to have it for memory and just say, hey, chalk it up to a first game. They just did not execute well so far. I mean, that was not a particularly difficult forehand either. I mean, but just missing them. Missed a few volleys too. It happens. There's a sky hook. I actually want to see them make him play more, but then they got to look to set it up. Nice
30,
point.
15.
Yeah, you see, Hagman's missed very few lobs. I mean, that might have been the only. Do you remember missing a lob?
No, I think that might have been the first.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's, you know, a lot of it due to his just super economical nature, which is great. And they have him, you know, they just switched it to net there. You know, Hagman's got soft hands. He looks to cut off those volleys. Not an I formation by any means, but he definitely is the guy looking to cut off a volley, and they want Lofgren hitting more of these overheads. See, they just got no presence there in the middle when you know, he goes with it down the lob. There's no pressure. There's no pressure put on him. See, that's a good ball for the drive. There we go.
Such a smart play by Hagman.
Oh, great
40,
cut
15.
finish.
A couple of points for 5-1.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that Lofgren really has a cut finisher, but when you take a ball just off the bounce like that, the ball's bouncing up into your paddle, you get double spin on it, and he really, really hit that one beautifully.
Go.
Game 5-1, Hagman, Lofgren.
I got you.
I'm a little surprised, Brad, because they just keep serving to the Lofgren forehand and coming in behind it.
Yeah, I mean, they got up in there that time, but they're flirting with danger for sure. You know, the problem is they do need some net here because backcourt they haven't shown any real offense yet. Ricky, I think he caught him
15 love.
on the outside line there. Great shot.
Go help me.
Great leave from Hagman. He's that side back coming in. He moved out of the way, knew it was going hard to the screen and was going to rebound all the way to his partner. Here's a good look.
That was a great lob that just opened the court up.
Perfect.
Lofgren.
And a great bail from Hintz and Schwab there. I mean, they had very little chance they can hold them at that time. They could have tried an I formation, but play one player close and look for a specific ball. See, that is getting opportunities. They just got to be able to capitalize on a few of them. Called wide.
30 love.
Big shout out to Jake Goldman, who's running the umpires this weekend. Came over from Cincinnati. Jay's a member of the Camargo Club.
Oh, Hintz dealing up there with some half volley magic. Nice.
Great
hands. Yep.
Help.
30,
Tried
15.
to make it too good. He played a low lob there. And if you're going to go low lob, you got to just push it up just past the service line because the ball travels forward more. It's very tough. A super useful shot, but no matter. It's when you hit a lower lob, you're looking for a down up overhead because it doesn't give a lot of time for your opponent to get behind it. So you hit that
40,
low lob, you stand
15.
in, you look for that spike. That's the part that they're missing more of. You know, they're not getting those spikes.
And there's that three-quarter drive that you talked about, Brad, that the I formation punishes. Schwab punished that one.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, can you recall a single return of serve that Lofgren has had to play with his backhand?
Nope.
I don't think. I mean, it's not that easy necessarily. I know the path from tennis court is small, but you know, one.
Go. Go.
Good little roller there from Hagman. He does everything with such an economical motion.
Go. Got it. Help. I got it. Go.
All right, so following this match, we're going to keep the stream up a little, and we're going to have, as you talked about before, Mark, the
40,
quarterfinal
30.
action of the ladies' draw.
That's at 11. I think all the other men's matches have been completed. So we may be taking a break after this and then coming back at 11. Looking for a confirmation from that from our producer, Kelly Diesel, Enet's best producer. So Kelly confirms that he is Enet's best producer.
Game. New balls.
Okay,
All right,
good solid game there from Hintz Schwab. It's all they
Staying
need
alive.
to do to turn it around.
Is just keep winning games.
Hagman and
I agree.
Lofgren lead the second set 5-2.
I mean, that might have been the best game they played the whole match.
Hanging in there. I got a ball.
Of course, won 3, and that was a third
Okay.
of them.
Yeah, it's an interesting start. I mean, you know, it's funny. We talked earlier. Minkaduri was talking about how this is a pick 'em on the PTN. I would still. I mean, obviously, I don't call it a pick 'em now. You know, clearly Hagman and Lofgren are more than in the driver's seat. But this match could go a different way, a different day. You know, execution-wise, other ways, things out there. And I don't know if these teams ever played each other.
Hey, I got it.
So many points have started that way, Brad. Where Hagman, Lofgren throw the serve in, make the first volley, and then they start over. Whereas
Yep.
on the other side of the coin, so many Lofgren forehands have
15
gone
love.
through.
It's a nice drop volley there from Hagman before. He's got.
Go, partner.
He's one of those players who's definitely looking for that shot.
You. Got it. Go, hit it. Ah, Jake.
30
All
love.
right, well, he's keeping it positive, bouncing on his steps there, but that was a rough ball.
Hit.
2 points from the match.
Yep.
You. I got it.
Nice.
Oh, you're right there. Sorry.
Too much there.
30-15.
Too many times from Lofgren. Made 2 nice little stays. Got to leave that third one. Good little hook spot. Hintz.
40-15.
All right.
Venture guess as they reach match point, they've missed more than returns they've hit through.
Yeah. Yeah, just not an executed match right now.
And there it is,
Game.
game, set, match. Hagman,
and
Lofgren,
win the
6-1,
second set,
6-2.
6 games.
And we got
to
some
2.
other scores that we could go in
Thank
there.
you.
Murphy, Thomas Murphy, Casey Watt. All right, 6-1, 6-1. And then we have Crick and Lofgren winning 6-love, 6-2. We got some other men's team through as well to the men's quarterfinals.
Any closing thoughts on the match, Bradford?
You know, just for Hintz and Schwab, have a short memory, get back out there, execute better the next time. I just think they just did not play. They could play better. You know, they didn't execute any of their shots, forehands, backhands. The ones they took, spotty at best. So they just get back out to the drawing board. Everybody has good days and bad days, you know. And then when they do their styles and the things they want to do, if they want to do it, they have to have a better idea. If the players aren't giving you certain shots, the style's not working. Just kind of work on some of the pressure balls and the way they position themselves for certain spaces in the backcourt so they can take some offense.
Stravinsky McNerney with a 6-3, 6-4 first round win.
For Bates and Owens.
Those guys came in late last night. I know, Brad, a lot of the Illinois guys were dealing with the 24-hour restriction that they weren't allowed to be in the state of Indiana more than 24 hours without being required to quarantine.
Well, there's all those COVID restrictions. Certainly, everybody needs to comply for it. Safety for everybody involved. And Mark, just so you know, you're on a complete restriction from my house.
I got to say, Brad, it's just amazing what the AP has been able to pull off, having these tournaments in this COVID era and doing it in a safe and responsible fashion. Really impressive. Kudos to Tiernan Kavana, Min Kadari, and then all the people involved in Indianapolis, Ludo Aaron, Ben Hagman, Jay Goman. And
Yeah,
of course,
it's
to Jerry Vion for putting this all together with the ENET guys.
Yeah, she's been doing just yeoman's work. Incredible job by everyone out there. So we're going to be back at 11 o'clock. So everybody tune back in then for our women's quarterfinal round matches. Mark, great calling that with you. And we'll see everybody at 11 o'clock.
Always a